Today on Changing Lives, we're talking about consciousness. Now, have you ever noticed that some people have varying degrees of consciousness? And that is what we want to look at today. Is there a scale?
Well, yes, absolutely. So we spoke a bit about, older souls, people knowing things, people really owning that space. And, it's quite interesting when I work a lot with energy. So I understand the psychological body, obviously from a neuroscience perspective, the physical body in conjunction with the mind. And then I work a lot with energy, but I also work with vibration. Okay, now they're different. Now your vibration is determined by what you think and how you feel about it. And it's measured in megahertz, and there's a scale of consciousness which has been put together. Okay? But, even if that is a hit and miss science, we can identify these feelings. We've spoken about the feeling of being in love. Now, love has a vibration of 600 megahertz, according to the experts that actually work in this field. And fear has a vibration of 95 megahertz. It's a much lower vibration. Now, if we look at what's topical, so let's say the genre in movies, the genre in newspapers, the genre in magazines, a lot of the time it talks to a more fear-based type of environment. So let's call the sale. Oh, big sale coming now, don't miss out. Lack thinking. Sale is essentially a lower vibration because it's about missing out, it's fear of missing out, okay? So anything based on fear tends to keep people down. So we want to rise up. Now, the interesting dynamic is that in your brain, and I'm going to do a little schematic here. If my wrist is your spine and my thumbnail is your amygdala, which is your fight, flight, or freeze center of the brain where most fear takes place, and I put my thumb into the palm of my hand, that's essentially where the amygdala lives. Now I close my hand over it and I put my other hand on top, and that's my brain. Okay, so we want to live up here. We don't want to live here. But for 450 million years, we've been taught that fear is survival. And we stay there, and a lot of people continue that space. And I've hypothesized that when you're born, you're not only born with the genetics of your parents, you're also born with their energy, because energy is transferable. Now, if you come from a fear-based background, the chances are you're going to be fear-based. Now, we have to rise up, rise above, from here to there, so that we can start living in the conscious part of the brain. And you're going to ask me why?
Yes.
And the reason is that when you live in the conscious part of your brain, you have something called attentional awareness, which gives you the ability to physically see opportunities. When you have something called inattentional blindness, it's almost like putting blinkers on. And it's a physiological reaction to where your brain is anticipating the fear around you. And you will miss, potentially, the biggest opportunities walking straight past you if you're in that space.
How do we do this? How do we, get to that point where we move out? I don't know how you did it. You can just do it again. The amygdala
From here to there.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad you asked that question. One of the ways to do it, and there are many, and we're going to go into that deeply when we work on the 8th dimension, is meditation.
Okay.
Meditation has been medically proven through MRI to work on this part of the brain, okay, to help you create pathways, neural pathways, to actually start living in a more conscious space. The higher up in your brain you live, the more awake you are, the more aware you are, the more you will see opportunities, but the more energy you will have to take action.
So I guess the takeout of this one is that you need to move out of the fear phase and make sure that you're looking out for opportunities by, being on the outer side, right?
Yeah, so there's an acronym for fear.
Okay, yeah.
Fear everything and run. Or face everything and rise.
So it's face everything and rise.
That's correct, yes. In summary, that's what we want to look at. So we want to stop fearing everything and running. If you feel fear, you have to figure out a way around it to find the positive. Most of what we fear never happens. So we're shifting from fear everything and run, amygdala, to face everything and rise.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Face everything and rise.
faka, ungasabufa isinkwa